So the Jacksonville Jaguars go bold, sort of like the color of the jacket Travis Hunter is dancing his way out of the green room in.
Could Travis Hunter really be about to drop the biggest shock of the season? A mid-season transfer that nobody saw coming? The whispers flying around aren't about playbooks, paychecks, or points on the board. This is way dirtier than game stats. The talk in the streets? This isn't about football business. It's about his wife, Leanna, and a teammate who might have crossed a line you can't uncross. People are saying one of his own Jaguars brothers might have gotten way too cozy with her. And I'm not talking about a friendly dap or harmless chat. We're talking the kind of rumors that could blow up a marriage and split an NFL locker room down the middle, and the timing makes it even crazier. We're not in the safe zone of off-season trades or quiet end-of-year moves. This would be a mid-season detonation, right when the team's counting on him the most. The word is, this isn't just sports beef. It's raw, it's personal, and it's the kind of heat that makes even the toughest vets keep their heads low. If even a slice of this talk is true, Travis walking out might actually be the calmest part of this whole circus. We're talking old clips popping back up, locker room whispers getting louder, and a marriage that's been showing cracks for months. And when a pro decides to switch squads in the middle of the grind over personal drama, that's not just a headline. That's the type of scandal that keeps everybody buzzing long after the season's over. Sure, players switch squads all the time, chasing fat contracts, better deals, or that playoff spotlight. But the way Travis Hunter's situation is unraveling? Oh, this one hits different. We're talking about a guy hyped as one of the Jaguars' future cornerstones, the dude fans thought would be locking it down for years, suddenly packing up mid-season. Not in the offseason, not during some tidy trade window, but right now, when the whole league thought he was locked in. And you know how it goes. The second something like this happens, everybody's asking the same thing. What really went down? If it was just about football, we'd hear the canned lines. It's business. I'm ready for a fresh start. Just focusing on my game. But here, nothing. No polished PR statement, no Instagram post, not even one of those vague, emoji-only hints. That dead silence from Travis is what's making people raise eyebrows, especially when you remember how loud and proud he was on draft day. Back then, he couldn't stop gushing about the future, the city, the fans, and now, nothing but crickets. That's why the internet detectives are going full CSI mode, combing Reddit threads, digging through old tweets, and breaking down TikTok clips like they're hunting gold. Screenshots are flying, throwback videos are popping up, and everybody's racing to connect the dots before the real tea spills. And trust me, these theories, they're getting wilder by the hour. No matter where you scroll, Reddit, Twitter, TikTok, the same explosive theory keeps bubbling to the top. This isn't about stats, highlights, or missed plays. It's about Travis Hunter's personal life, and it's straight up messy. The talk? That one of his own Jaguars teammates might have crossed a line you never cross with Leanna. If that's true, we're not just talking bad optics. We're talking career shaking, friendship ending, locker room splitting chaos overnight. At first, it was just cryptic whispers and sly comments. Stuff like, check the roster, or look who she's been spotted with. But then the internet detectives started naming names. And suddenly, this wasn't just harmless gossip. The story floating around is that a certain Jaguars player got way too close to Leanna. And from the way folks are telling it, this wasn't some innocent mix-up. This was one of those situations where you don't even need the full backstory. The tension in the air says it all. Still, nothing's been confirmed. The team? Locked lips. Travis? Silent as a statue. And Leanna? She's vanished from the grid. No new posts, no captions, no slick little quotes. Nothing. All fans can point to is an old interview where she bragged about keeping her marriage strong by not letting social media dictate it. Which, let's be honest, hits different when the internet is dragging your name through the mud. And you know how online culture works. Stay quiet long enough, and people start thinking you've got something to hide. In this case, that silence didn't cool the rumor. It blew it wide open. What really sent this story viral wasn't just the tea itself. It was how perfectly it matched up with something fans swear they spotted months ago. That old clip of Leanna, supposedly caught leaning in and chatting with a Jaguars player, is making the rounds again, and this time, people are watching it like it's frame-by-frame evidence in a high-profile case. The comments are brutal, tearing apart every smile, every lean, every flicker of eye contact like they're studying a confession tape. And here's the sting for Jaguars fans. If the guy in that clip is the same teammate at the center of these current whispers, then this whole mess didn't just explode overnight. It's been simmering for months. Suddenly, all those behind-the-scenes shifts make sense. The signs were there for anyone paying attention. Little whispers about tense practices, teammates not vibing like they used to, and even fans catching the change. Some of the guys who used to be all laughs with Travis on the sidelines, nowhere near him anymore. No public shouting matches, no viral blow-ups, just that slow fade that screams something's not right. Even in pressers, you could feel it. That stiff, careful energy, like everyone was trying not to step on a landmine. Nobody's outright saying, yeah, there's drama, but the vibe? Completely different. The team's pushing their all good here image hard, but watch closely and it's clear. Travis isn't moving, talking, or even looking like the same guy anymore. He's not cracking jokes with the crew anymore, not dapping people up like he used to. On the sidelines, Travis is posted up alone, helmet in hand, eyes locked on nothing, like his mind's a million miles away. And if that rumor about a teammate and Leanna even has a shred of truth, suddenly it clicks. Because how do you grind, travel, and share a locker room with someone you can't even look in the eye? Once fans started looking at it from that angle, this stopped feeling like a normal sports update and started reading like a full-blown, behind-the-scenes soap opera. And if the locker room vibes were tense, you can bet home wasn't exactly peaceful either. Stuff like that never stays at practice. It rides with you in the car, sits at the dinner table, follows you into the stands. That's when fans began catching those micro moments, the stiff hugs, the quick turn of a head, the icy glances. Little details that don't need a single word to tell a story. And now, every clip, every photo, every game day sighting is getting slowed down and picked apart like it's evidence in a case file. There's that one wedding clip, you know exactly which one, where Travis leans in and Leanna snaps her head away quick. If you've seen it, you can still feel the awkward. Then there's that game day shot of them in the stands. Faces tight, whispering low, while the camera just happens to catch them. No yelling, no public scene. Just that quiet, tense kind of exchange that says, we're not on the same page right now. Line up those awkward moments next to the teammate rumors, the frozen Instagram feeds, and the total blackout on public interaction, and it stops looking like random coincidences. It starts looking like a pattern. Not hard proof, but a constant, heavy pressure hanging over everything. For Travis, every snap at practice probably comes with that voice in the back of his mind. What's everyone saying now? For Leanna, every time she steps out in public, it's like she's walking into a live body language breakdown. People are zooming in on her smile, his stance, the space between them, turning every tiny frame into a so-called clue. And before anyone calls it overanalyzing, these are the same red flags a lot of fans had already clocked. They just kept quiet until now. None of it screams, it's over. But when you stack it all together, the message is loud. Something's definitely not right. This kind of slow burn tension doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. It builds layer by layer until there's no way to hide it anymore. And right when it seemed like Travis and Leanna were trying to quietly ride it out, he started making moves in his routine that had everybody's eyes locked in. After all those quiet cracks showing in the marriage, the changes started spilling out of the house and into every corner of Travis's life. This is a guy who used to be everywhere.
Yeah. My brother, where you at, Travis? Yes, sir. That's my dog, man. You know I do this for you, bro. We've been doing this for a long time. You was always next to me. Even the times I didn't want to take you, my mama made me take you. Bro, I'm doing this for you, bro. I'm doing this for all my siblings, man. I thank y'all for keep looking up to me.
Charity events, late nights out with the crew, pulling surprise drop-ins for fans. He was that approachable star you'd catch in off-season clips, laughing, loose, living it up. But lately, nothing. No casual hangs, no fan meet and greets, no fun little cameos. It's like he ghosted the off-up somewhere. The vibe's different. No Leanna on his arm, no easy smile, just that same locked-in, distracted stare, like his body's in the room but his mind's miles away. People notice those things, especially when we're talking about a pro whose life was once so wide open. Fans are starting to wonder if we're not just watching a man step back from his wife, but from the whole world they built together. Some even think Travis isn't just steering clear of one teammate. He might be avoiding being seen in certain settings altogether, and the timing couldn't be more messy. The exact same weeks he went low profile were the weeks the chatter about him and Leanna blew up online. And instead of clapping back or dropping a post to kill the rumors, he stayed silent, letting that speculation swell into a full-blown storm. For a lot of fans, this was the moment they knew Travis had already made up his mind, not just about the marriage, but about whether he even wanted to stay in that locker room. Then came the next rumor, the one that made it all feel inevitable. Word from people close to the situation is that Travis and the teammate at the center of it all didn't just avoid each other. They eventually went head-to-head. It allegedly happened after practice, away from the cameras, but close enough that others caught the vibe. Nobody's putting their name on what was said, but let's be real. With the kind of rumors in the air, you don't need a word-for-word replay to figure out the topic. For many fans, that's when the whispers started sounding more like the opening act to something big. A trade, a public split, maybe both. Because once those private confrontations start going down, it's only a matter of time before the fallout hits daylight. This was it, the quiet, unspoken, yep, it's over moment. You just don't share a field or a locker room when the tension's that heavy. And by the time this story started circling through fan spaces, it didn't even feel like rumor anymore. It felt like confirmation, no statement required. And while Travis kept his mouth shut, Leanna's silence was getting louder by the day. She stopped posting online, stopped showing up at games, and vanished from all the usual behind-the-scenes content. For someone who always had some kind of public presence, her sudden disappearance was impossible to miss, and fans caught on quick. A short social media break? That's whatever. But this felt like she was dodging the spotlight on purpose. No fresh pics, no cameos, no random sightings, nothing. It was like she yanked the plug on her public life completely. Officially, they kept things zipped. But in the background, the whispers kept circling, and the timing made it way too easy for fans to start connecting the dots. By that point, the question wasn't if Travis was leaving, it was how he was going to make the move. Right now, Travis isn't saying a word, Leanna's keeping her head down, and the Jaguars are locked into their best no-comment act. Which means the only way this thing truly blows open is if somebody finally decides to spill. And when that day comes, the transfer won't even be the headline. The reason behind it will, and that's the part the NFL might not be ready for. So stay tuned, like, share, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe. Because the next twist in this saga, you do not want to miss it.